They took our jobs.
Hell yeah. We took your jobs, all right. Y'all be good now and take care. Bye-bye.
Job numbers are nuking. President Trump is winning. All of the panicans. You wouldn't find it here. You didn't find it on this program. Not us. Not us, ladies and gentlemen. We weren't panicans. Oh, no. We actually went viral and were featured on Jon Stewart's show because we were saying, let Trump cook. We were saying, let Trump cook. It's better to experience some short-term economic pain to right the ship. You've got to pull the cavity out of the mouth. You hit the gym. You want to get strong. You want to get big. You got to hit the gym and it's going to hurt. And we were saying that it's better to do it than to just let the country decay and atomize into a third world hellscape. This is what actually loving your country looks like. And we said, let him cook. And yo, check this out from this morning. Trump's economic rocket ship takes off. June payrolls, 147,000 new jobs, smashing expectations by over 30%. June unemployment craters. Unemployment rate drops to 4.1%, teetering in the 3%. That's like economic nuclear energy. Experts said it would be 4.3%. Experts said unemployment would actually rise this month, and it crashed. This is after mass deportations, the highest deportation numbers we've seen in a generation in the month of June. And oh, by the way, that corresponds with American jobs. This is incredible. Stephen Miller posting today, nature is healing. Look at this. The largest U.S. jobs report, native-born workers gained 830,000 jobs, while foreign-born workers lost nearly 400,000 jobs. Holy smokes. Americans hiring Americans. I love it. You should love it. And I just a shameless plug here at this program, we hire Americans. We have a staff of 20 people when you include everyone who works tangentially with our organization as in a contractor capacity, right? In a big technical field, okay, creative space. We hire American creators, young, dynamic, energetic American creators who want to save their country. No outsourcing around here, ladies and gentlemen. We have patriots who work and people who have families, children, people who can now buy homes and cars, who can get the start with their lives, young people who can get a start and get a start saving their country, telling the truth at this program. We're so honored to have been affected also by this Trump bump at our company as we have been doing some new hiring. We're very excited about that. It's our great honor to have contributed in a very small way to this. Hiring Americans. Hiring Americans. Look at these numbers. Native-born workers, meaning American workers, up almost 1 million. Up almost 1 million. The largest crash of foreign-born workers in recent memory. Nearly 400,000 jobs net negative for foreign-born workers. Nature is healing. Is that exactly what Stephen Miller? Can you put that Stephen Miller quote up one more time? Is it exactly what Stephen Miller said? Yeah, beautiful. The universe is healing. There we go. Oh, ladies and gentlemen. Even Bloomberg caught absolutely gasping on this. Bloomberg hates Trump. The Bloomberg chuds and nerds just absolutely left gasping this morning. Here we go.
And this is good news, much better than expected. An upside surprise on headline payrolls, 147, the estimate 106. The unemployment rate was at 4.2. In our survey, economists were looking for that to climb up to 4.3. It comes in at 4.1. And if you want some high-frequency data, or at least some higher-frequency data, jobless claims, much lower than expected. Across the board here in the labour market, this is a pretty solid read.
Hell yeah, look at this from Axios, a bunch of Trump haters over at Axios. Just absolutely having to shove it. U.S. economy adds 147,000 jobs in June. 47, look at that. Good number right there. 47 for 47. In June, defying slowdown expectations. Look at those numbers for the Trump era. The Trump era just getting kicked off, and in spite of all of the panicins, in spite of all of the sky is falling. You remember Jim Cramer? ALX, we got Jim Cramer clip. ALX loves absolutely dogging Jim Cramer. He just drags Jim Cramer every single day. You got that Jim Cramer clip? The economy's going to crash. Everything's over. It's all over. Oh, man. In spite of all of that, U.S. economy added 147,000 jobs, forgive me, in June, while the unemployment rate edged downward, Labor Department said. Hiring was stronger than anticipated, defying data showing a slowing job market. Economics forecast the labor market to add roughly 100,000 jobs. This blew out the numbers. The Labor Department said the growth was a combined 16,000 higher than initially reported in April and May. Remember, the Biden administration was always revising it downward. They were always revising it down, so they'd come out with these big numbers, and then they'd say, actually, we're in a recession, right? But they'd sweep it all under the rug. Report flies in the face of data released earlier this week that showed sluggish hiring rates as economic uncertainty made employers hesitant to hire and invest. The jobs growth was especially concentrated in state and local governments last month, saw unemployment rise by 73,000. The labor force continued to shrink with roughly 130,000 workers leaving, helping put downward pressure on unemployment rate. The high anticipated jobs report released one day earlier than usual because of the July 4th holiday comes as Federal Reserve hunts for evidence of a labor market weakness while tariff effects roll throughout the economy. Jerome Powell, facing immense pressure from President Trump to cut interest rates, has said the economy looks strong enough to approach the next rate decision with caution. The report supports this posture, so expect Jerome Powell, too late Jerome Powell, to definitely not be lowering rates. Jerome Powell will most likely be then replaced by Donald Trump. I just want everyone to expect that. Even CNN with a heaping hot plate of eating crow this morning. Listen to him gasp. Here we go.
You expected some of this, but this is better than expected?
Yeah, Sarah, it is. Look, this jobs market is like the Energizer Bunny. Every single time we expect it to run out of steam, it just keeps going and going. So these new numbers show that the U.S. economy added 147,000 jobs in June. That was well ahead of the expectation of about 118,000, well ahead of some whispers that we heard on Wall Street of a sub 100,000 number. So this is indeed beating expectations. We were also expecting a slowdown. We did not get that. This is basically in line with May, which was revised higher. It's also good news. The unemployment rate was expected to go up. It didn't. It went down to 4.1%. That is a very healthy number. This is still relatively historically low. And again, it's below the 4.3% that we had expected.
Absolutely monster stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Blowout. The golden era economic boom is officially here. Look at that post. Look at that. This is a great time to buy, says Donald Trump at the absolute rock bottom. Did you listen to Trump? Did you sell? I didn't sell nothing. And I ain't here to give financial advice, right? That is not what this show is about. That is not what I do. I didn't sell nothing. In fact, I did exactly what I did during COVID, which is buy American. That's exactly what I did. I bought American. You know, I made out like a bandit, and I'm no genius at this stuff, but at the rock bottom of COVID, I said, what do you mean? What is wrong with people? Like, I'm just going to buy a bunch of like great American companies that I believe in, and it did amazing. I'm no genius. I didn't go to economics school. I went to community college, as I say many times in this program. But like, why not invest in this country? Why not like bet on America? I believe in it, so why not live out those dreams? Why not live out that faith? That's what we did. Man,